Shout out to D4.
We coming in with some old Carolina soul. Shout out to the 843, baby. There's a lot of dances that are going around. The country girl, the boots on the ground. If you a stepper, gonna start with your right. But if you ain't, then it's still alright. It's your move, however you choose. Just do it, do it. Just do it, do it. Come on, baby. Let me see you get into it. Come on, baby. I wanna see you do it. It's your thing, however you swing. Just do it, do it. Just do it, do it. This party too lit, we having a ball. Fish in the grease, plenty alcohol. Cards on the table and they rolling the dice. Them steppers stepping in their boots tonight. Well, alright, it's alright. Solid party vibe till the morning light. Come on, baby. Let me see you get into it. Come on, baby. Yeah. I wanna see you do it. It's your thing, however you swing. Just do it, do it. Just do it, do it. Ain't nobody gonna turn me around. 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 It's alright, however you like. Just do it, do it. Hey, come on, baby. Let me see you do it, do it. Oh, come on, baby. Yeah, I wanna see you get into it. It's your move, however you choose. Just do it, do it. Hey.
Ow! Gwen Yvette, y'all. All right, it's all right. Just do it, do it. Right here, playing tonight. I'm so used to saying some other stuff I'm not about to say. But joyful motherfucking Monday, y'all. Joyful Monday, joyful MLK Day to everyone out there. And everyone who showed up today for the Soul Bowl, gratitude, man. Y'all are awesome. Gratitude for coming out for that dope community event. You gotta love anytime we can get the community together. I swear. It's a very beautiful thing. Yeah, my eyes just right now decided to start stinging. I was just cooking a little bit ago, and have you ever had a delayed reaction to like onions? Has that ever happened to you before? Where like all of a sudden you had a delayed reaction to onions? I feel like that just happened to me, and now my eyes are like watery. So I promise I'm not over here crying, although I do love y'all so much that it brings me to tears. However, at this moment, it's either my eyes just wanted to be dry or it's delayed. Look at now, it's watering like crazy. You know what that means though? For me, that means it's gonna make my nose run, y'all. This is not bueno. This is what we call no bueno. Why are my eyes all of a sudden watering like crazy to the point where I can't even open them? This cannot be real life. I'm gonna have to get a tissue. Pardon. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is craziness. So it's really making my eyes water. It makes me wonder, like, did I have No, I don't have no onion on my hands. I washed my hands multiple times since I cut onions for sure. Because that was like the first thing to do. Well, actually, I take that back. That was the second thing I did. Because the first thing I did was put the beef bacon in the pan. Because I made my son some loaded baked potato soup, I guess is what you would call it. And it's one of his faves, so something easy for a mom to do, you know what I'm saying? He can make it himself, honestly. Really, truly. He's a great, great cook. A great cook. So y'all, again, joyful Monday. How's everybody doing tonight out there in the world? How y'all feeling, man? I have a tendency to try to keep people focusing on positive things. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do talk a little shit here and there and have some things to say sometimes, but for the most part, I would choose to make my posts on social media more focused on the same things that I've always talked about, unity, waking up, being like aware in this world that we're in right now instead of walking around unaware and um just man, I think unaware is so encompassing to the type of nonsense that people just don't even people act like they can't see anything that's going on, and it's kind of confusing to me sometimes. I have to remind myself every once in a while that like not everybody can see how some of us do, and they're not always going to think things through the way that we do and to the level that we do. Instead, they may just see things at a surface level and kind of take it and run with it. Another thing, too, is that, a lot of people are easily swayed by what they see in media and social media, being one of those media platforms, all owned by the same people, whether it's social media or mainstream media. So that's something to be mindful of, I guess, when you're navigating the social medias because sometimes you're navigating in waters that are tainted, because they're still going to push their narrative out there either via people that who don't realize that they're a part of the matrix. Excuse me, my nose was kind of running. Nose. And people who are still kind of like part of the matrix, so um they're willing to like push that agenda. They're willing to they don't even the people who are programmed don't even realize they're doing it because they think they're putting out what they think, but they don't actually think for themselves. So, you know and that's not to say that everybody out here that's asleep is an NPC, for the record, because some people are just still like in a state of not of disbelief, or still in a state of not knowing if they can trust the things that they've always been curious about. Which to me, I mean, I don't know. I can only speak from terms of myself, and that is to me, it's kind of wild because like, how can you still be on the fence? If you've ever been on the fence, how are you still on the fucking fence at this point? Like, at this point, it's like it made more sense to me back in the day before the internet was so huge and before social media was so big, you know what I mean? Like how it is now. It made more sense to me then because things were easier to excuse me, y'all. Things were easier to hide. Now there's so much knowledge at our fingertips. I mean, shit. The thing you're holding in your hand right now, watching me talk shit, has infinite knowledge on it. Like you can get so much information and knowledge and wisdom and um tap into so many things and connect with so many things and so many people from so many realms that it's insane. And we didn't always have access like that. So, it made more sense to me before that access was available for people to not like have some information, you know what I mean? Or be in a sense of like, can I really trust the things that I'm thinking and feeling because I don't really know other people who are thinking and feeling these things. So there's no connection. See, now in this day and age, we have so much connection. There's a fucking Facebook group for everything. Like, excuse me, you can find out if your dog was cheating on you. They've got Facebook groups for every motherfucking thing at this point. So, like, there is no way to not have connection with people anymore in the realms of whatever it is that interests you. And in this instance, even in the realms of things that you are wondering if they're true or not, or you know, you're wondering if you're the only one who thinks these things or feels these things or experiences these things, because I guarantee you, I mean, I guess I can't make this guarantee, but I don't like to limit shit. And so I really just don't think that there's a possible chance that you're the only one experiencing things in your life. Now, does that mean you're going to find one other person that's experiencing all the things you are? That's probably pretty unlikely, not fully unlikely, because they might be experiencing everything that you are and then some. But like, as far as finding other people who are experiencing life in some similar ways that you are, who can either help you understand some things, get through some things, process some things, whatever, that is a high probability that there's somebody out there that is also going through some of the same similar shit. And so nowadays, it's like you can ask people questions. You can go into these groups of things that even you don't agree with, and you can get perspective. Do you see what I'm saying? So you can be like, oh shit, okay. So that's why the people who think that, you know, or whatever. Or sometimes you can even maybe change your opinion if you were on the fence about things, going back to being on the fence. So, if you are on the fence about something in this world at this point, there's a Facebook group for that. So you can really gain whatever information and knowledge you need to make your decision on where you fall on pretty much anything at this point in life. So if you're still like the type of person that is in one side or one belief system or another, I mean, if you're not seeking to like change that, there's a high chance that you're not going to. So it's like at this point, why would you not want to? Like, why would you not want to seek knowledge in every aspect that you can? No, instead, the majority of people spend their days like a drone, bro. They get up in the morning at the same time because their fucking alarm wakes them up, and then they go to the same fucking job that they drove the same route to after they went through the same fucking morning routine, and they do the same exact fucking thing every single day. They work the same job, the same hours. Most people do the same mundane ass shit at work too. Not everybody, because some of y'all got some cool ass jobs, or some people's jobs just do a lot of different shit. But at the same time, a lot of people end up doing the same type of job all day, every day. Then they go home the same fucking route and same shit. They're gonna go home, make some dinner, watch some TV, fucking shower, go to bed. Wake up in the morning and do the same fucking shit day in and day out. And a majority of people don't even bother wasting their time expanding their mind or stretching beyond that. Because society as a whole has been conditioned to believe that like if you get a good career and then you find a nice partner, like, and then you get a house and then like you have kids, now you have the American dream. Like, you've succeeded in life, you don't need to move any further. You know what I'm saying? Like, congratulations, woo, streamers, fucking all the shit. So it's like most people feel like once they've done all that, they've reached their pinnacle. Like, there is nothing else to do but now to just continue to exist, take some vacations, you know what I'm saying? Watch the kids grow, take some home videos, go to soccer fucking practice, and live happily ever after. Like, those people are either asleep or NPCs, though. That's not reality. That's not real life. First of all, we don't even live in real life. Like, if we could really even touch on that for a second. But in all reality, that's not real life. If you still have to live inside the rat race part of the matrix, there is no shade in that at the fuck all, because I get it. Like, we're still as a whole, everybody's not, because there's some people who have escaped this shit entirely, and man, if you know the whole, like, share the fucking code, bro. But uh if you still have to live inside the rat race because you have, like, you want to continue paying bills and living where you live, you know what I'm saying, right now, I totally get that. Like, it's no shade, and there's no I have no judgment towards that whatsoever. What I'm saying is that even if you're still living in that type of formulation, you've got to take time out to expand your mind. You've got to take time out to heal from traumas. You've got to take time out to reconnect with community again, because we've been so far fucking disconnected from community. It's in motherfucking sane. So we have got to consciously make effort to commune with one another, because they will do everything in their power to rip us apart. Sammy's cracking up. Peace, goddess. I love you. I'm so grateful that you're here. What did you do a few times? Because I missed when I said that. And there's like a 10-second delay too whenever I see your shit that you say from what I said. So please forgive me. Um So it's like important that even if you are working a 9 to 5 job and you still gotta fucking work for the man, that you plot some time out for you, and you plot some time out to plot what you're finna do with yourself moving forward, because this is not the life. This is not um this is not it, y'all. This is like, okay, they basically took us from real life and sold us this bullshit ass convenience. Like, it's in the name. Con is in the name, y'all. It's in the fucking name. So come on, like, it's conveniences. They sold us, you know, houses with motherfucking, everything wired. How we live today has been sold to us bit by bit until we got to where we are right now. You see what I'm saying? But this is the con. They sell it to you under the guise of, you know, evolution. They sell it to you under the guise of technologically advanced. Say we're advanced. They say that we're, um, a greater species because we have all-wheel drive vehicles that have fucking, what, backup cameras on them, and our kids are fucking addicted to iPads, and literally some people's kids, if this is your kids, this is no disrespect, but check yourself, friend. Check your fucking self. With all rooted in love, with all due respect, check yourself. Because some people's kids will literally cry if they can't have a fucking electronic in their face at all times. And I'm sorry, but this is a dangerous, dangerous, slippery slope. This is a dangerous, slippery slope that we're playing with right here. Because not only are you allowing to, God only knows what the fuck is on that screen to be teaching your child, but I will tell you that TVs in and of themselves, the TV shows have so much subliminal messaging in them, like, it's insane. And so there is no reason to believe that a electronic device that's in in a child's hand is going to be any less dangerous. Okay, it's going to have the same effect, if not worse, because I mean, granted, there are some things that you can search on the smart TVs, and I don't have a super smart TV. I just have a few things on a smart TV. I have an old school smart TV. I have like when they first started reading type smart TV. So I don't have like college level smart TV. Okay. My shit's not doing like calculus and shit. Okay. My shit's over here learning its ABCs and colors. Okay. So um you can't really surf the web the same way that you can though with an electronic device in your hand, such as an iPad or a phone. And this is what, excuse me, most kids are carrying around these days is a giant phone or a little phone. um, so there's a lot less control over what the children are watching because let's be motherfucking real, and you've got to be real with yourself because you don't have me to answer to, you have yourself to answer to, and you have your future to answer to, because right now you're creating our future. You're educating our future, you are growing our future. So whatever you do with your children right now is going to be us in some years time. Think about that. That's really a thing to think about. Um, so, you know, be honest with yourself. If your child has an iPad in their hand or a phone in their hand and they go off and do their own thing and they're being quiet and they're distracted, you're doing other shit. You're not over their shoulder fucking watching everything that they're watching or hearing everything that they're watching. You're not. Because you're either scrolling on your own device or you're trying to cook fucking dinner or you're trying to help the other kids with their homework or something else is going on. You're busy. That's why I hope that's the only reason why. I hope it's not just to fucking do nothingness. Most people, though, that does happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're in a society now where it's like, us adults can be just as addicted to these fucking phones as anybody else because let's be honest, they're addictive as fuck. Um, and that's by design. They're designed to be addictive like that. They have certain things, certain features, certain frequencies, certain lights that they use in them to make them addictive. So that they're doing that to your children too. You see what I'm saying? But in all reality, a lot of people are distracted in their own shit when their child is distracted on this phone. So you're not knowing everything that they're watching, everything they're consuming during this time. And that's where the danger lies, aside from the fact that we already know. Like shit like Disney is laden with fucking subliminal messaging and programming. So just be mindful of that. Also, Walt Disney was a fucking pedophile. So yeah. And multiple child actors from Disney, who were actors, singers. If they were singers, they did acting too, typically. So, you know what I'm saying? There's plenty of them out there. It's a very easy, quick Google search or YouTube search to find child actors from Disney who will tell you their story. I believe Macaulay Culkin actually told his story some years back. Who knows if the internet's been wiped of that, but he definitely did. As did Justin Bieber and Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake and a few other of the youngsters that grew up being Disney stars. What's her name? Miley Cyrus is another one. Many of them. And then I'm sure there'll probably be more out that will out the industry as time passes on. But it's a very well known thing. And so knowing that, you know, a pedophile making children's TV shows and movies should raise red fucking flags for anyone. If alarms are not going off in your brain when you hear something like that, to think like, huh, the TV shows probably have some bullshit in them I don't want my kids watching or absorbing or consuming. Yeah. Right, exactly. So like if we know that about Disney, one of the largest fucking known children's supplier for TV and movies and such, and also even music. If we know that about them, then we have to be very concerned and using our discernment about watching their shows. Like, do you really think that they wouldn't be putting some kind of weird, sick shit in there that now you may not notice because it's subliminal messaging? Subliminal messaging. You see what I'm saying? That means that you're not going to notice it, but your subconscious mind will pick all that up and absorb it like a fucking sponge because that's what your subconscious mind does. 24/7, 365, whether you're awake, asleep, paying attention or not, your subconscious mind is absorbing everything. Every frequency, every fucking everything. Everything. So, with that being said, if your children are iPad children to any extent, stop that shit, man. I mean, it's not my life. I mean, I can't tell you what the fuck to do, but I'm still gonna fucking like tell you how, like, I'm still gonna tell people how I feel about it and like what to do. But honestly, like, it's your choice. And I'm not gonna judge you in your choice, but also at the end of the day, be educated, bro. Like, don't be out here just fucking stupid, just living ignorantly, just doing shit. Know the effects of the shit that you're doing. So at least if you're doing it to yourself, you know what the fuck you're doing to yourself because then at least you're educated in it. So hopefully that's the thing is like, I do things to myself that are not necessarily good for me too. Like I eat sugar and shit sometimes. That's not good for us. I smoke hella weed, which smoking weed is perfectly fine, but smoking the paper probably isn't the greatest. I breathe oxygen and sadly they put a lot of shit in the oxygen that's just not good for us. I eat food sometimes that's really not that great for me, but I fucking am having a human experience too. So I get wanting to be fully like all in on some shit. And I think that's great for some people. So for me though, I feel like I attempt to live more of a balanced life. I try to do as good as I possibly fucking can, and shit that really matters. And I also remember that I'm a human being on this earth as well as this motherfucking goddess in the flesh. So I do also enjoy having a fucking human experience sometimes. Like I am gonna eat the chocolate cake sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So like I get that. And so I'm not here to like judge you or anything like that. So when I'm telling you things that are better for you, I'm not talking to just you because my cells are listening too. You see what I'm saying? So I'm talking to you and I'm talking to me. I'm reminding myself also to be mindful of the things that I consume with my eyes, with my ears, with my mouth, you know? Um so it's not just you, it's me too. It's all of us. We can all always be better than we are. That's why I choose to strive to be a better me today than I was yesterday, and hopefully a better to me tomorrow than I am today. You know what I'm saying? But all I know is that as long as you do the best you can every single day, there's nothing anyone else can ask of you. You know what I mean? Because all you can really fucking do is your best. So just strive to do your best every day and know that every day that's going to look a little bit different. And that's okay. That's okay. Every single day is going to look a little bit different because sometimes you can give fucking 80, 90% and you're just, and some days all you have is 10%. But if you're giving that 10%, are you not giving your fucking all, bro? Are you not doing the best that you can? Yes, the fuck you are. You know what? And if all you can give that day is 10% and you're giving that 10%, you're winning. You're winning. You're fucking winning. Just keep doing you and keep striving to be better. If you made a mistake, you made a fucking mistake. Acknowledge it within yourself at least. If you can acknowledge it with the other person, that's a good thing too, because that builds character in you and them. Teaches them that they can do it too. But acknowledge it at least within yourself because then you can be aware and you can grow from that point. You know what I'm saying? My girl Sammy's listening to me. Exactly, girl. Speak life into yourself and others because you want to know what? Here's the thing. And again, I'm talking to myself because yeah. And like, if you know, you know. If you don't know me, I mean, you don't know this. But if you know me, you know I'm a shit talking ass motherfucker for real. And but here's the thing: is I say I'm a shit talking ass motherfucker, but really I'm just a real ass motherfucker that just says some real ass shit, and people can take it as talking shit. But sometimes I do talk shit. Sometimes I do talk some shit, or sometimes I say some negative shit too. I have bad days. I have bad moments. I don't have bad days. I have bad moments. I have moments where I allow my emotions to take control of me and I allow my anger to take control and take the wheel. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I say shit sometimes too that, like, my body's listening to, and that's not okay. That's why I have to check myself too. And do, by the way, I do check myself, by the way. That's part of being self-aware. That's how we grow. That's how we heal. That's how we grow. That's how we become the best versions of ourselves. That's how we are able to give 100%, 100% of what we have that day, even if it's only 10%. You feel me? The best of what we have for the day, for the moment, even sometimes it's moment to moment, and that's just real life. But it's all out of love. Yeah, for real, girl. It is all a love. You're right. When I'm talking shit, it is all out of love. I mean, now hold on, because you know what? I do gotta be I do have to speak on the duality of life and humanity though. Because you know what? I am very much a love rooted human being. But you know what? As much as I am rooted in love, I have another side of me that doesn't feel so loving, doesn't sound so loving, doesn't look so loving. I do have another side of me, and everyone does. See, it just like it's who we choose. It's like the side we choose to feed. Because I'll tell you what, sometimes that other side of me comes out. That's one thing. I'm glad you said that, Sammy, because that's one thing that I learned in my healing process was because the other side used to show a lot more than my love and light side. And you know what? Because you personally, Sammy, have known me for a really fucking long time, and you have seen me in many different stages of my growth process and in my healing and in my who I am, who you see me as today and who you met me as are the same person but very fucking different people at the same time, right or wrong. So, like, I really used to live my life very much in the just for just for ease of reference, we'll call them dark side and light side because that's how they're referenced a lot in the world. Um, and so just for ease of reference, so everyone can fucking know what the hell I'm saying. Gratitude, goddess, and you as well. I'm very proud of you as well. Um, I had used to live my life very much in this more dark aspect and dark side of me. And so the dark side of me could very easily be agitated. I would try to be a happy person and I would try to keep a smile on my face and try to be, you know what I mean? I guess in my mind, what society expected me to be, you're supposed to be respectful and kind and whatever the fucking case may be, right? But I I feel like because I was so traumatized, I had so much trauma and my life was still so rooted in trauma. I was very unhealed that anger, that that aspect of us humans that like I'm not a killer but don't push me aspect. That aspect was very easy to bring out in me. And I will be honest with you, I still have a very short fuse. And for the right reasons and the right things and in the right times, I can go 0 to 100 real fucking quick still. Like, I don't think that aspect of me will ever go away. And that's part of what I'm explaining right now, too. Um, is because it's not necessarily supposed to go away. So here's the thing is that so it would be very easy for me to get out of body, as we would say, so to speak, and really just be raging. And certain scenarios would do that to me easier than other scenarios, especially driving, y'all. Road rage is a motherfucker. Let me tell you what, okay? Because driving, look, and it's crazy too because when you start to look at it, you start to realize that a lot of the things in the life that piss you off or trigger you are shit that you do yourself. If you're real and if you're self-aware and if you will be honest with yourself, and I hope you will. I challenge you to, and I hope you feel inspired to be honest with yourself because that is where a lot of our growth will take place. As a matter of fact, you can't grow if you won't be honest with yourself. You have to first be honest with self in order to expand. Because how can you fucking grow some shit you don't know? How can you change some shit you're not aware of or you're not being mindful of? You can't possibly change some shit you're not mindful of or even aware of within yourself. So you have to fucking start telling yourself like girl or sir. You know what I'm saying? You got to check self. But so in that healing process, I realized how much I was living my life in that trauma lens, right? But also I realized that what we call our that's dark aspect of myself wasn't a bad aspect of myself. It is just one aspect of myself. And so I want you to also realize, especially if you're in your healing journey and you're like, you know what I'm saying, thinking about things like this, recognize the fact that those things about yourself that you feel like you want to change or, make better, whatever the case may be, they're not bad things about yourself. They're just one thing about you. They're one aspect about you. It's one aspect about me. Girl, 90 and a 60, for real. My girl, 120 and a 30, shit. And if you're driving, just don't go to the car wash. Yo. So it's these things that you want to change about yourself are just, it's not that you have to change it, it's that you have to accept it. You have to acknowledge and accept these things about yourself because these are aspects of yourself. Do you see what I'm saying? And your anger is not a bad thing. It's just how you choose to display it, where you choose to display it, how you choose to utilize that energy that can sometimes be the quote unquote bad thing. You know what I'm saying? And for me, how I would expend that energy would in fact be, you guys, I feel like I have like a hair on me. Please excuse me. I keep like, it might be my own hair tickling my face. It, a lot of times my way of dealing with anger would be explosive and inappropriate, ragey shit. You see what I'm saying? So, like, that was something that I had to not change, not get rid of, not fix, but learn about myself, acknowledge about myself. And then from there, integrate that into myself as an aspect of myself. It's somewhat like how I like to describe it is like it's like your beast side, it's like the side of you that like people really don't want to fucking see or play with. Because everybody, I don't care, it doesn't matter who you are. The sweetest person you know, the gentlest person you know, has a raging beast inside of them that they keep on a leash, bro. And that's the goal. It's not to expel these aspects of yourself. It's to learn these aspects of yourself so that you know how to utilize that energy in a proper way at the proper times when it's needed. Because that's the thing. Those aspects of yourself are just as important as any other aspect of yourself. You don't just need the positive, loving, oh, roses and sunshine side of yourself. At least not in the world we're currently living in. You also do need to be able to have the side of yourself that will fucking crash the fuck out and that people should be afraid of. The only thing is that it's not about using that energy improperly, inappropriately, in the wrong times, in the wrong ways. It's about being able to harness that energy, put it on a leash, wrap it up, hold that energy by your side, and then be able to use that energy, unleash that energy when it's needed, in the right moment, at the right time, in the right way. And that was something that I really learned about myself in this life as I've been growing and healing. Is that we're not supposed to get rid of those sides of ourselves. We're supposed to embrace, embody those other aspects of ourselves, those things that we may deem to be bad. Because I'll tell you what, there are times in life where my rage, my raging, quick to don't fucking play with me type anger has come in handy. It has been needed sometimes because sometimes that is needed. That type of energy is needed. That ability to be able to, with your energy when you need to, if that makes sense. And I think it makes sense to who it needs to make sense to. That's pretty much everything that comes out of anyone's mouth, especially and including mine. We can only understand things at the level we understand ourselves, though. I was just talking about this with somebody the other day about how people will think that they know what you're saying, or they will think that what you're saying is dumb. They'll be like, oh, that's stupid. Like, you're dumb for thinking this. But what they don't realize is that they're listening to and comprehending what you've said on their level of comprehension, of their level of understanding, not yours. See, we don't all comprehend the world at the same level or in the same way. We don't all have the same opinions, same perspective, the same aspects in life. Like we don't see things the same way. We don't And that changes in your life as you grow. Your As you ascend, as you grow, your perspective is going to shift. And then also how you're able to see the world shifts, like how you're able to look at the world shifts. And what I mean by that is like some people can only see what's in front of them, this little like box in front of them, right? And some people can see a little further. Like, they have this eyesight, like when you're driving, how you can see down the road. And then some people can stand over top and see the whole fucking big ass picture. And there's variances of levels in between, of course. But like, that's the thing that I personally remind myself of. um, often, is that we are not all comprehending anything on the same level to the same extent, you know. And what's even cooler still is that you can comprehend something right now at the level that you're at. And when you grow and ascend, you will have aha moments on things that you thought you fully fucking understood. Like you thought you fully, you're like, oh, I get that fully. And then you will ascend and you will grow and you will expand with like your beautiful self expands. And then you will be like, holy fucking shit. Oh my God. Because then you will have a whole nother aha moment and you will understand that in a whole new light and in a whole new level. And that's the fucking most beautiful thing, man. Or one of the most beautiful things. I say that a lot because there's so much beauty in life, man. And there's so much beauty to growing and learning and healing in life. You see life so differently in every stage. And like, as someone who's at this stage, whatever the fuck this stage is for me in life, I would just say that it's so fucking worth it, man. If you are living right now in a life and you feel down and out and you feel depressed all the time, or you feel like you feel like you're you know everything that you feel like everyone that you're in contact with, like you just arguing with all the time and you can't have good relationships and you just feel like the world's just always been crumbling and everyone hates you and whatever. If you feel like you're living like a victim in life, I urge you, and I hope you feel inspired to seek within and seek healing, however that looks for you, because it's going to be different for everyone. But if you feel like you don't know which way to go, I would, um, my suggestion to you, and obviously do with this as you will, would be to seek counseling. You know, go see a therapist, not a psychiatrist, not a psychologist. Go see a therapist because, and also, you know, again, this is about being aware and honest with yourself. Uh, what traumas you faced, find someone who specializes in those traumas. If you've had, especially, you know, if you've had some really like tough traumatic things, like, you know, there's different levels to trauma. And don't get me wrong, that's not to diminish anyone's trauma, because all, you know, all trauma has an effect on us. It's just to say that there are some traumas that are particularly heinous, and we have to be real about that. Um, so if you have experienced a particularly heinous trauma, especially, I really, really urge you, and I hope you feel inspired to seek someone who specializes in that, because, you know, they can't heal you. No one can heal you except you. Only you can do the work. But that's the thing. Therein lies the key, is you must do the work. But what's beautiful about a therapist is that they can guide you. You know, they can help you to learn the skills on how to process things, and, you know, what to look for inside yourself, and how to see how certain things have affected you and how it's affecting your life. Because when you start seeing how things are affecting your life and you start seeing what it was that affected you, and how that's affecting you, you can process these things better. You know what I mean? And there is a process to this processing. You know, there is a process to healing. You do have to do some work. You do have to go inside there and dig around, and it's ugly and it's sticky and it's gross at first, and it's a little confusing, and, you know, it's hard at first. It really is. um at first there's going to be a lot of emotions that are kind of just all over the place, and you may not necessarily even know what to do with all of them, and that's okay. Don't pressure yourself to fit into some kind of mold of what healing looks like, because it's different for everyone. And the truth of the matter is, as long as you're fucking moving and making progress and doing work and allowing yourself to feel the emotions that are coming up, you're fucking doing it. You're doing it. No matter what it feels like in the moment, which sometimes it feels like shit. You're doing it though. You're doing it. And as you get through these things and as you allow yourself to just really be self aware and honest, and as you allow yourself to dive deep into the things that you've experienced, um, it'll get easier and the waters will become less murky, and a little easier to wade through. And you'll begin to see, as they say, the light again. You'll just begin to see life differently. You'll begin to see people differently. You'll begin to see yourself differently. And you really do, if you allow yourself to. And again, everyone's journey is different. And it really, 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 really just, all of this shit is going to be super dependent on and reliant on you and how you choose to navigate this, how much effort you choose to put into it, you know, how deep you allow yourself to fucking dive. See, I don't know if you're anything like me, y'all. I feel like I'm a student of life for as long as I'm here and as many times as I come back. As long as I'm in this body and as many times as I come back into a new body, wherever that may be, whether that's here on earth or somewhere the fuck else. But as many times as I reincarnate, I shall be a student of life. Um, because that is to me one of the most amazing fucking things that we can ever do, is to like grow and learn about ourselves and learn, the world, and learn each other and learn how humans tick, and like, why am I the way I am? Why do I do these things? Why did I react that way? Why do I think about that? Why did she say that? Why do I give a fuck about why she said that? Like, I just love to analyze and dive deep into things. So, if you're anything like me, you will take this healing process and it will just be this beautiful springboard to like a whole new life for you. And I love that for you so fucking much, man, because it is a beautiful fucking journey. Kim, I love you, girl. Thanks for checking in. Gratitude for being here. Peace and love to you, goddess. Um, yeah, this lady right here, Kim Waterman, if you do anything in life, um, I highly urge you to go follow her page, One Voice, and support what she does, because she will support you as well. She is a wonderful supporter and you should support her just because she's an amazing human who supports every fucking body. Like, every fucking body. She supports everyone. And she's probably got the hugest heart I've ever seen in a human being in my life. Like, she's a real life earth angel. So yeah, support her. Support her. And go support some of the shit she's supporting, because she's got, if you go on the page One Voice, you will see there's a gazillion fucking things to go support. So you could probably find someone who does something that you're looking for. If you're looking for a service of some kind, I would suggest you go to One Voice and just scroll through there and find yourself the service that you're looking for. Um, because it's probably there multiple times. Yeah. So that's how I feel about that. And then back to what I was saying about growing. But real quick, you guys, I'm going to take a sip of my water. I love y'all, man. Gratitude for being here tonight with me. And making a choice to be here with me for whatever the reason was. Because you could really be any fucking where right now, but you're here with me. And I hope that anything or something that I'm saying can be helpful to you in life, you know, because I would love nothing more than to even be able to have a positive impact just in one person. If I could positively impact one person and help one person feel fucking like they're seen, felt, heard, not strange, outcasted, alone in this fucking world, I feel like I've won at life, bro. Straight up. Because that is a beautiful thing. I freaking love you too. Hey, sister, soul sister. All right, y'all. Shout out to my weed man. Love you, bro. What's Lil Wayne say? That's the good weed. I love that I'm not on papers anymore because I can smoke and I can be like, fuck you, I won't do it. Don't give a fuck what anyone else thinks. There is one thing. If someone's on papers, they kind of have to follow certain rules. I mean, you can get away with some things, don't get me wrong, but not on fucking live. Like, you could try. I wouldn't suggest it personally. I wouldn't suggest it personally. Because, bro, they have fucking video proof. God damn it. Peace, Mike. Gratitude. Appreciate love you, sir. Mike says he's liking what he's hearing. I appreciate that, sir. Very much. So back to what I was rattling on about. Take this journey, y'all, and like enjoy it. Take it as like right, like I said, in the beginning it feels tough. And don't get me wrong, it may feel tough, but if you can look beyond how you feel in the moment and realize that what you're doing is taking steps towards a fucking whole new life for yourself. Like you really, really, truly are. Like as someone who used to be completely in a fog and who has lifted at least out of the fog a lot of the ways. How much I don't know, but a fucking lot of the ways. For sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. I will say that it is worth it and you can do this. Like every step you take is gonna be a step that's like no matter how small it is, it matters. Like that's the one thing too for you to understand and remember. Have grace. You know what I mean? So have grace for yourself. Like give yourself grace. Like you have to remember, like whatever age you are right now, where you're beginning at, like whatever age you are, you have that many years of learned behavior through trauma lenses. Like you're literally, if you're 60 years old, you have 60 years that you have been living, or I mean, somewhere give or take, because depending on when the trauma happened. But let's be real. Um, when did the trauma happen? We're all born with like some innate trauma. Like it's funny because religion will tell you you're born with sin, but spirituality and the healing aspects will tell you that you're born with trauma. You're born with trauma that is passed on to you through the womb. And we had this conversation last week. For anyone who didn't hear that, I highly suggest you go run that one back last week because we was really talking some shit. We was cooking in the motherfucking kitchen, okay? So, you have many generations of trauma that's already in your DNA, built in your energy. Everything's fucking energy. So you already have all these aspects of trauma built into you, your energy, the energy that makes up your body, um, that you carry with you from birth. So it's like, when did it begin? Fuck knows. Fuck knows. I don't fucking know. Can we go back that far? It, if you really, really, really think about the daisy chain of how it works, like, because if you know how a woman's body works, carrying our egg, we have all of our eggs in our body from the time we're inside our mother's womb. So daisy chain that back, because that energy is being affected. And whatever doesn't get healed gets carried on. Yes or no? Right or wrong? It doesn't go away. It gets carried on. It gets pushed down to the next generation. So a lot of us right now who are healing like fucking crazy, we're breaking through generation. When we say generational trauma, we mean fucking generational. Like, we're talking, who knows? Who knows whose trauma and how much trauma and from how long ago? Plus the shit you fucking plus the shit you fucking experience in your own life, bro. Plus the shit you tack on to your own fucking uh curriculum, so to speak. You know? Fucking right? It's a lot. So, like, when you're first starting out and you're coming into this realization of, okay, I'm going to heal myself. I'm realizing that, all in my life, all of the common denominator is always me. It's always me, because you know what? It's always your life. So you're going to see that shit, I actually played a part in that fucked up scenario. Damn, actually, if I wasn't so insecure, I wouldn't have acted that way. Damn, actually, you're going to start noticing these aspects of yourself, and that's beautiful. That's good. And at first, it might be a little much. It's okay, though. Take it in. Allow yourself to just be aware of it and be an observer. Don't judge yourself in these moments. Observe. Observe how it makes you feel. Observe anything that comes to mind. And you know what? If you can do this, this would be amazing. It wasn't something that I thought about at the time. This is something that I've learned along the way. Uh, Grab a journal. And this is something great, especially if you're just starting out in your journey. This is something fucking amazing, because you'll have your whole journey, but it doesn't matter where you're at in your journey. Grab a journal and start making this your like healing journal, where you allow yourself to write things in there that either you're feeling that day, you're going through that day, you fucking battled that day, you struggled with that day, whatever the case may be. So, mind you, now let's go back to what we were talking about. When things start coming up, if you start getting emotions, write that shit down. And write down the emotions that you're feeling. Write down the thoughts that come to mind. Write down the visions that you see. If you see visions, everyone's a little bit different. So take what resonates with you and leave the rest alone, because everything isn't for everyone. And we don't all experience energy and life the same, okay? Or trauma the same, or healing the same. We don't experience any fucking thing the same, y'all. But so write down, if you start getting messages, if you start remembering scenarios, if you start remembering people, if you start remembering conversations, write these things down, because these can be anchor points. These can be um what's the word I'm looking for? Um, not evidenced. What is Well, these can be things that help you to realize what it was that caused the trauma. Because one of the great ways to heal, at least from my experience, and many others have experienced this as well, and maybe you have too if you've already done some healing, is to be able to recognize where it originated from. Like, where did I get this from? Like, why am I carrying this shit? Where was it placed on me at? You know what I mean? Because when you can go back into that moment, you can feel those feelings again and you can choose a different route. You can choose to change your perspective on what happened. And okay, this may sound a little woo-woo and out there for some people, but I feel like if you're here with me, you're good on this. But you never know. No judgment if it's a little woo-woo for you, because I can be a little woo-woo sometimes. Hang on one second, y'all. I need a little sip of this whole H2O. Um, Shit, what was I just gonna say? Maybe I wasn't supposed to say it. Almost I wasn't supposed to say it. Oh well, it is what it is. If it was meant to be, it'll come back to me. So, yeah, anyways, so when you can just start becoming aware of these emotions and aware of these scenarios that you are finding, you can start going in and, oh, I did come back to me. Ah, cool. So I can share this with you guys. So one of the ways that I have been able to find healing and heal things about myself, and like really get into the emotion of it and really I guess break it down. I consider it to be a form of time travel. And it kind of is if you think about it. So let me just like take you in, excuse me, real quick. Let me just take you in real quick on a ride of like what it would look like to time travel and heal in this time traveling aspect, okay? And maybe this will work for you as well. So maybe that's the reason I'm allowed to share it, is because somebody listening right now will be able to use this cool time traveling, um that's what I like to call it, time traveling. Okay, so what I do is I go back once you've figured out what the trauma is. Like, let's say for example, I'm just going to use this as an example. Something happened to you as a child, okay? Now, you time travel by going back into that moment when you as a child were experiencing the thing that traumatized you. You're having the experience, you're in the trauma. Now, don't get me wrong, this is going to be different for everyone and different for every fucking trauma, because some traumas are a little more intense for us to experience again than others. Let's be real. So just be mindful of that and don't push yourself too much, too fast, too far. And then remember to have grace with yourself. Love yourself through this, because ultimately that's one of the most important things, is that your um self who experienced the trauma, whether it was a child or an adult, whatever it was that you experienced as trauma, it's important that that version of you experiences love and knows that he or she is supported and loved. Okay. Because in that moment, you didn't feel that love. You felt fear, you felt abandonment, you felt danger, you felt um, whatever it was that you felt. You see what I'm saying? And that feeling created a trauma block inside of you because you were not able to, in that time, process it, either because you didn't know how, because you didn't feel safe, or because like you just You didn't know how. Mostly it's usually because we didn't know how, or we didn't feel safe. um or maybe, like, I guess my other thing would be, you didn't know that it needed to be processed. A lot of times it's because we weren't allowed the space, we didn't have the skill, and we didn't fucking feel safe. Because if you felt safe in the first place, would you have had any fucking trauma? Okay. Now, okay, let's go back to the time travel. You want to go back into that moment of when self was experiencing this trauma, okay? And when you go back into that moment, you have to feel these feelings, but you have to, like, you're gonna allow whatever feelings pop up to pop up. But you're really going in there as yourself today, the strong, adult version of you who has experienced life more and has a different perspective in life and in what happened to little you or that version of you. Okay. So now you're going in there with wisdom. You're going in there with confidence. You're going in there with the ability to have um, whatever it is that you needed at that time. So when you go in there, I want you to speak to yourself, whatever version of yourself that was, and I want you to acknowledge what happened to them. Let them know it's not their fault. They didn't do anything that warranted that thing. Um, they're safe now. Um, they don't have to keep experiencing this. Whatever you at that moment need, go back in there and speak to this version of self from what that version of self needs. And give your version of self like a new perspective. You have to also let that version of self, another thing that's important to let them know is I said it's not your fault, but also that the person who did this to you, if it's someone who, if it's a victim, like what is the term I was looking for? Um, well, if it's a crime that has a victim, then if something has happened to you or someone did something to you, you have to tell that version of yourself the truth, which is that that person is sick. That person was a victim of something in their own life and was projecting onto you. Like, these are things that you will also learn as you heal and grow in your own journey. But, like, you have to let that version of you know that that person is the one that was wrong for what they did. You were not the one that called this upon yourself. You did not do anything wrong. Um you're not, like, at fault. You didn't ask for it. None of these things. Um, and also, after you've done that, you need to love on that person. You need to love on that version of yourself. Wrap your arms around them and give them a big ass hug. And um, everyone's going to experience this a little bit differently. You may be able to go inside in, like, a meditation and envision this version of yourself. You may just have to go in and just, like, think about it. I don't know. We're all a little bit differently. So you have to do how it works best for you to be able to connect with that version of yourself that experienced this trauma. Um, and just talk them through it. You just have to talk them through it and allow them to feel whatever they feel, because it's going to come through, and just allow that to happen. um Grieve that, mourn that, feel that, be angry, be sad, cry, whatever. Some people feel a lot of shame for trauma that they've experienced, and shame is something that is very low vibrational. If you look it up, there's a scale of frequency, and different emotions have different frequency, or every emotion has its own frequency. And I don't know the exact frequency off the top of my head, so I do apologize for not having that information. However, it is at your fingertips. So feel free to seek that knowledge. Um, but shame is a very low vibration. And so it is something that will keep you feeling low vibrational, down. A lot of times in our lives, people who experience things like depression and anxiety and personality disorders such as bipolar, um things of these nature, there's some other ones too. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of any more really, but these are some, I guess, that are some pretty common ones that people get labeled as. And a lot of times people who are experiencing these things, they actually have trauma that they need to heal from, that things that they need to go through, emotions that they need to get moving. Emotion is energy in motion. You see what I'm saying? When you have emotions and you allow yourself to feel these emotions and allow these emotions to just go through your body, you will not carry the trauma with you. And see, that's how a lot of these traumas happen. Because what did I say earlier? A person doesn't process them, doesn't know how to process them, or they're afraid to. There's a fear attached to it, right? And so, with that, what happens is they don't cry, they don't scream, they don't tell the person how they feel, they don't stand up for themselves, they don't, whatever the case may be. And instead, that creates a trauma that sits inside of the body somewhere. It's blockage. And our body, our light body, our human physical body, it gets built up with all of these blocks of trauma from all of the things we didn't say, from all the times we didn't stand up for ourselves, for all the times that we felt abandoned, for all the times that we felt neglected, for all the times that we were abused, that we couldn't speak, for all the times that we couldn't cry, for all the times you were told to shut the fuck up, to sit the fuck down, to be seen and not heard, for all the times that you were shrunk. There's blocks. I feel like when we think about trauma too, we just think about the big shit like abuse, um, whatever level that looks like in whatever aspect, because there's so many fucking wonderful mediums of abuse. So, you know, choose your poison in that. So, it's not though. Abuse and the huge traumas, those are not the only traumas that we experience. You know, you can get a blockage, a little tick inside the body, a little trauma block because you didn't stand up for yourself at work when someone said something to you, and you could have said something back and you wanted to say something back. You felt that fucking visceral urge inside of your body to say something back, but you didn't. You muffled yourself, you stifled yourself, you shrunk yourself, you traumatized yourself. You put a little of trauma. Is it as big as the fucking abuse? Nah, hell no. And no, it's not going to be affect you the same. No, but does it affect you? Hell yes it does. And over time, think about it. Trauma is residual. That shit don't go away. That shit builds up. Motherfuckers be carrying around big ass trauma bodies. You know, this is insane, but you can actually see trauma on people because people who carry the most trauma, they don't realize it a lot of the time, because that's another thing about trauma is you don't always realize that you're carrying all this weight of trauma and just toxicity. But the people who self-destruct the most, the people who are the most poisonous to themselves, the people who consume the most poison, whether it be hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. Look, consuming poison. That's what that's about. You don't want to be the poison. You don't want to consume the poison. You don't want to consume the poison. You don't want to eat the poison either. My mouth, I guess, can carry, it's a W innuendo there, but or double entendre. Double innuendo? Double entendre. Pardon. Um, you don't want to you see the people who probably carry the most traumas traumatize themselves over and over and over again constantly because they are carrying poison, so they continue to just poison themselves. And people who poison themselves poison everything outside of them, because as above so below, as within so without. If you are poisoning yourself, you are poisoning everything around you, because you are emitting fucking poison. Your frequency is poison. So when you look at people and you see their lifestyle, if they are a very unhappy person all the time and they are very self-destructive, um, that person is going to be carrying a lot of trauma. And I don't want that to be misconstrued either, to say that just because you see someone who looks and appears to be healthy because their body is in fit shape, that does not mean that that person is healthy, or that that person is not self-destructive. So do not confuse what I'm saying is to saying like maybe someone who's just overweight, or what we consider to be overweight, or whatever the case may be, that they are self-destructive. And because actually, that is not always the case. So I'm not saying you can even look at someone as far as their physical physique and see if they are healthy or not, because some people may not look what we deem as physically healthy, and that's all subjective, to be honest with you. um, but they may be more healthy in their mind, and they can shed whatever may be unhealthy on the body, and baby, that will happen. That will happen, because you will begin to want to be healthy in many ways of your life. Um, but someone who goes to the gym all the time and whose physique is in what we would consider to be, good shape, that doesn't mean that their mind is healthy. That person could self-destruct in many other ways. They could do drugs, they could be at the bar every weekend, they could be sharing their energy and their body with any and everyone. They could be very thinking very unhealthy thoughts. They could be very unhealthy people and not even on a journey of healing or good health in that aspect, in a spiritual and mental aspect. They could very much be physically looking healthy, but not be healing or healed. So it's more so when you look at people's like lifestyle. How are they living? How do they talk to themselves? How do they talk to other people? Do they correct themselves? Do they check themselves? Do they apologize when they're wrong or when they've hurt someone? Do they victim blame? Do they blame everyone for everything? You see what I'm saying? Like, there's just different levels to that type of shit. But you will see people who are self-destructive and self-sabotaging. They're carrying a lot of trauma. And a really great way to become more healthy physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally is to analyze yourself, be aware of yourself, and heal all of the traumas that you possibly fucking can. Let what comes up inside your body be felt, seen, and heard, because that's what it's really wanting. It needs to be acknowledged. Okay, I know I've used this analogy before, but different people watch at different times, and the analogy is always good. So, children are a really great example of healing and trauma processing in real time, because children. Hang on one sec. I don't know why I gotta tell you. I don't have to tell you. Hang on one sec. You can fucking see me. Children, if left to their own devices and allowed to just without intervention, children are very good at processing trauma in real time and very good at problem solving in real time. Now, how they problem solve will be determined a lot by what they see at home and how their parents problem solve or their caregivers problem solve or um whomever they're around the most in challenging moments problem solves. Okay. So I guess in other words, however they've learned to problem solve. But children left to their own devices will have a quarrel or have a challenge, have a disagreement, have an issue arise, and they will deal with that issue and they will process the emotions. Like, they will cry, they will scream, they will yell at each other, they will tell each other how the fuck they feel, they will sometimes hit each other, they will process through, though, all of the aspects, and everyone will do it in their own way, of the emotions involved in what's happening. So they will process through the trauma, which means that they will not carry that shit with them. And they will all have their own perspectives of it, don't get me wrong. But as long as they're allowed to process through it, they will. There is some exception. Always there's exceptions. Everyone doesn't ever, nobody fits inside a fucking box. So we can't say everyone will process their trauma that day, because there are some children who may be already so traumatized in other aspects of their life that they don't even feel safe to process amongst their peers. And that's just the reality of it. So, again, not all children will process in that moment, but the ones who feel free enough to, and the ones who do, ones who are like allow themselves to feel what's going on in the moment and to express themselves how they feel they need to express themselves, will not carry trauma with them. They won't carry that notch. They'll let it go. It's processed. There's no need to carry that shit with them. But they will carry the lesson. And it doesn't mean they won't remember the fucking experience either. That's not how it works. It's just trauma is not that you remember an experience, because you don't even always remember the experience, that the trauma that you're that's presenting. But it's more so that it's the perspective in which you remember it. It's how you remember it. It's what you do with the energy of it. Did it become a lesson for you that you were able to take with you in life? Did it just become a crazy fucking experience that, doesn't really affect you in any way that you can realize yet? It probably will later on. It'll be like, damn, you know what? When I was in third grade, I feel like every single thing that we experience has some um, role. It has some role in our life at some point or another. Always. Everything's a lesson. Even things we deem as mistakes or failures or yada, 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 it's all lessons, man. It's all lessons. And if you allow yourself, bro, you can learn a lot in life because we are constantly experiencing and we are constantly in a state of either processing life and what could be trauma or gaining trauma. Little notches that we have to then heal through or get passed down. You know what? I wonder if this is something that we could ponder on. Maybe you could ponder on with me. I wonder if like trauma from before that's not our experience, but things that we get from our past generations, or even past lives of ours. I wonder if it's kind of like a snowball where like it may even start off as something minuscule, like for example, something that you didn't say to a coworker that you wish you would have said, and you never process that. Like when it if it goes down to like your great great grandchild, does it become a bigger trauma? Or is it still just that same little, you know, significant, but, everything's significant in its own right, but, it's the level of significance now. Did this become a huge trauma now? Is this something now that that person really has to like process through? Because I don't know about you, but I know that I have processed traumas that were not mine, that I don't even know what I was processing. I just felt emotion that needed to like be felt, needed to be felt, needed to be seen, needed to be heard, needed to be acknowledged. And it makes me wonder, was it one of those things that's something as simple as not standing up for yourself or not saying the thing that needed to be said? Or, and here's something crazy to think about, sugarcoating something instead of relaying the message as you needed to relay it. Because I think that's really important. I had a conversation with someone about that one day. And I really think that it's important that messages are relayed how they need to be relayed. We were talking about um, not sugarcoating what you say and how sometimes you have to say things that someone may take it, you know, how the fuck ever they're gonna take it. They're gonna take it however they're gonna take it, but they may not take it in a good way. Like they may be offended or it may feel harsh to them. But here's the thing is that is it my job to determine what's harsh for somebody or what someone can or can't handle? Is it my job to determine um how someone needed to hear something? No, it's not. It's not my job to protect their feelings or even consider their feelings. It's my job to relay the message as it was relayed to me and as it needs to be relayed because it needs to be said how it needs to be said for a reason. because that person needs to receive it in a certain manner and in a certain energy. There's a reason why people have to receive things in a certain energy, in a certain frequency. It's because it unlocks something in them. And if you don't fulfill your contract in that aspect and unlock that in them, are you not carrying a trauma from that? Do you carry that with you? I think you would. I think you would. Because it's something that you needed to say and you didn't say it. We sometimes have to say things in a manner that may be perceived as harsh. We sometimes have to say things in a tone that may be perceived as harsh, because the reality of it is that there's frequency in everything that we do, and you're required to use the proper frequency when delivering a message, because the person receiving it, this is the importance right here, the person receiving it has to receive the proper frequency in order for it to activate what needs to be activated in them, for them to get the message and get the proper lesson. How can they learn if you're protecting their feelings? I love this quote, and I don't even know where I got it from. If you know where the quote came from, feel free to share with us so we can cite the author of this quote, the person who said it, and give them credit where credit is due, because I do subscribe to the notion of paying homage, and that is an aspect of paying homage, is giving credit where credit is due. So, but the phrase is, if I never made you uncomfortable, you would, or if I didn't make you uncomfortable, you never would have moved. If I didn't make you uncomfortable, you never would have moved. And I fucking love that phrase. I remind myself of that phrase often, especially when it feels like shit is crumbling around you. Remember that. Remember that if you didn't feel uncomfortable, you would have stayed in your same spot, right? Because why would you move if you're comfortable as fuck? Who the hell kicks their feet up in their most comfiest spot and feels good and is comfortable and chilling and everything is just right for you? Who wants to move from that? But if someone starts shaking shit up, turning the light on and fucking opening up windows, and what the hell is going on? I was in this spot chilling. Now I don't want to be here anymore. Like, you just heshed the whole vibe. Stop heshing my vibe, bro. Chaw. You know? So, like, if you don't say something how it needs to be said, but instead you sugarcoat it and you say it more gently and less harsh, so to speak, you're using the wrong frequency and they're not going to receive the message properly. It may or may not activate what it was supposed to activate. That's something that I personally remind myself of and had to learn as well. Because I've never been good at sugarcoating, but I did used to not say things sometimes. I would just not say things sometimes. Or attempt to find a way to say it in a less, I guess you could call it sugarcoating, but I it never came out that way. See, that's the thing is I would in my mind be like, I'm gonna say it like this. And then it comes out like a whole different way. But instead of doing that, if I had just said it how it needed to be said, how it was presented to me to be said, off jump, then it would have just been said properly. And there would have been no reason for me to tap dance around how to try in my mind, how to try to say it properly. And then most likely my delivery would be off anyway because it wasn't authentic. My heart wasn't in it. I was attempting in my mind to say it a certain way, but it didn't come out that way anyways. But it didn't come out how it was supposed to either. Do you see? And that's the important aspect of it is you have to be able to keep the frequency that needs to be emitted. The person cannot receive the message otherwise. And I wonder sometimes, do we carry stuff like that with us? Does that become something that we have to essentially process through and heal? I guess that would be a lot for somebody who just started their healing process, y'all. I'd be like, bing, 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 bing. My thoughts are like a pinball machine. Like it may all kind of come together and have the similar theme about it. You know, the theme is sprinkled over the top, but I do have a tendency to speak about many things in one show. But I like that. And I hope you enjoy it too. I hope you that you get a lot or anything from stuff that I talk about. Even if you just get a little bit of knowledge or some entertainment, I guess. Either way, here's what's cool is even if what I say to you today just sounds crazy and out there and woo as fuck or like, all right, Mel, what the fuck ever. I've planted a seed in every single person. Look, every single person in confirmation who has come on the show today or even heard any of this or comes back and watches the replay because energy is always. I planted a seed. So in those, it's supposed to blossom. It shall. And although it's many seeds planted, you know, what's for each of you individually is for you, and what's not for you will not root. Will not root. Which is kind of cool, right? Yeah. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And I'm so grateful for you. Gratitude for being here and for checking out my ramblings and wisdom. Wisdom for who it's wise for. uh, I hope y'all have a fabulous rest of your evening. Please don't mind the community you dig. Oh my gosh, hold on, because it's 1:19 and my girl didn't get a chance to jump on because she's celebrating herself right now. And I love that for her so much. And she's being celebrated by everyone around her. And I love that so much for her. But I do desire to give a quick Earth Day shout out to my homie, my twinny on the other side of the motherfucking country right now. I love you, girl. It's my girl Erica's Earth Day today on 119. So joyful Earth Day to you, goddess. Peace, love, and positive energy in your journey. May your new evolution be everything you want it to be or better. Always leave room for our better. So grateful that you're celebrating yourself. And if it's anyone else's Earth Day out there, or joyful Earth Day to you as well. And all of that yummy shit that I said, because I say that to everyone. And I mean that shit too. Like for real, for real. I desire for everyone to love their life and live the life that they came here to live, and to truly be happy and free and at peace. And man, we all deserve that. You deserve that. And we can get there. It just takes a little bit of effort on everyone's part, within ourselves first. We can never, ever, ever, you know, um, project the love and I guess it's probably just love, huh? That's needed out in the world amongst one another. If we can't first find that love within ourselves, it starts right here. And then from here, the cup overfloweth. you know? But first, you have to love you, every aspect of you. And that's the trick. That's the secret. That's it. That's the big fucking secret. Heal and love yourself. Allow yourself to feel your feelings, your emotions, so that you can keep that energy in motion, you know? Say what needs to be said when it needs to be said. When you're in a conversation with someone, when you're having a disagreement with someone, say what you need to say. And I'm not talking about the emotional shit, like being mean or combative or like, tearing someone down. That's not what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm talking about but I'm talking about, and this is going to take some time for some people who have been taught ill communication skills. And I'm speaking from experience when I say this, but I will tell you that as you heal and grow within yourself, you will gain skills. Another great thing that you can get from seeking uh, therapy, because a therapist can teach you these skills, especially if you didn't learn them from other people in your life, which many of us did not. So, but learning how to communicate with people in a healthy way so that you can express yourself in a healthy way, because it's really imperative that you express yourself in a healthy way, that you say what needs to be said to people, that you speak. I want to say your truth, but when I'm saying that, I mean like stand up for yourself, be true to yourself. Don't allow people to tear you down or um, speak ill on your name or on you. And don't allow yourself to either. Ooh, Four Agreements. Y'all, if you have not read The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, I highly suggest it. Highly suggest it. I just got goosebumps on the top of my head. I think that was a confirmation. Highly suggest it. Definitely get that book. And if you haven't read any of his books, just start there. Start there and then read The Fifth Agreement. So Don Miguel Ruiz, The Four Agreements. That book, you may not even need a therapist, bro. If you really like allow that book to, if you allow yourself to immerse yourself in that book and absorb everything that book has to offer, you you will for sure change your perspective on so much in life and yourself. You will learn so much about yourself. Oh my gosh. You will have so many beautiful aha moments. I highly, highly encourage you to. And if you have read it, but it's been a while, revisit it. Revisit it. I revisited it. And you know what? It's been a while, and I think I'll revisit it again because the thing about those books and books like they're like those books is they're just it's the same thing we talked about earlier, is because you are seeing this from a new perspective through different eyes. So every single time you relearn it again, you're relearning it again because you're relearning it now from a whole different angle. You're a different person than the last time you read it. And if you haven't read it yet, get ready to transform and be brand new. A whole new you. Oh my gosh. Good book. Good fucking book. And every single book in that series, I personally, not gonna lie, I love to read and I'm kind of a book junkie. My healthy trait is I have a bazillion books and I want more. I I desire and aspire to when I am like where I where I am going to end up being, like where my settled down place is in life. Like I don't know where that is exactly, but when I get there, I'll know. And I desire to have a giant library. Anyways, so I have like all of those books of their series. I say there because Don Miguel Ruiz has a son, Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. And they wrote books together as well. So, and does he have some on his own? I think he has some on his own too, his son. Anyway, their books are phenomenal and you learn so much. I learned so much. And if you allow yourself to, you will as well. So I just really encourage you and I hope you feel inspired to grab the Four Agreements and read that book. Get it at your local library. Did you forget about the library? You forgot about the fucking library, didn't you? Bro, go to the library, get you a library card. I think they let you check out like 30 items. You don't even need that. Just get this book for now, okay? And yeah, my pleasure. You're very welcome for that. You're very welcome for that. You will, if you allow yourself to learn a lot, a fucking lot about yourself, about the world. It will shift your perspective on a lot of things. And it's very healing. There's a lot of healing that happens throughout that book. And that is with all of those books, all of that series. You will time and time again be faced with different aspects of yourself that just they they help you to realize where some of these things came from, and to realize why you react the way you react in certain scenarios or why allow certain things in your life. And in that is power because when you have that knowledge of awareness is a fucking amazing thing. When you have the power of the knowledge of awareness, when you have the knowledge of awareness, the wisdom, you have the power to change. That's what I was trying to say. When you have the knowledge of awareness, you have the power to change because awareness lets you see, holy shit, this thing is here. And then the power of change is there. You can say, huh, this thing is here, and this is how it got here. Well, how can we get rid of it? Like once you become aware of something, you actually can mend it, you can fix it, you can heal it, you can love it properly, you can acknowledge it, you can embody it. Whatever needs to happen to it happens because of awareness. Self awareness is one of the most amazing gifts you can give to yourself. Be aware. To be aware is to be alive. Wow, that's a double entendre as well. To be aware is to be alive. Because really, truly, to be aware is to be alive, but to be aware is to feel alive, to be alive, to be alive. It's true. Y'all, I'm about to get off of here because I will continue to ramble on for all eternity. I have a million things to say. A million things to say. But I am getting sleepy, and it's almost 9 o'clock in my realm of the world. And that is like late. Look at me wrap my. That's late. I love y'all. Have a fabulous week. This Thursday we're meeting at. Oh, let me find out because I gotta ask. One of our village members was gonna find our coffee shop for the week. So I will definitely let y'all know what the coffee shop is that we're meeting at, and come through, slide through. Let's bullshit and politic. See if you're a good fit. If you have the same ideals of what you would like to do on this earth while you're here as myself or anyone else that's in the village. And find your people or just hang out and have some fucking coffee with us or some tea with us. And then, if you feel like it's not a good fit, you can peace out. Two up, two down. See you around town. But either way, you know what I'm saying? This is what we need to do, guys, is build community. So even if you don't build community with me, build your own community. Find your people. Go find your tribe because they're out there. And right now, we really, really could use one another. And I don't mean that in a use aspect. I mean, we could really benefit as a whole in humanity by coming together and realizing that each of us is a little piece to a very big puzzle. And if we all utilize our powers and strengths, our powers combined, you know the rest. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get up off of here and make myself some tea. I hope y'all have a fabulous rest of your evening. I hope you have a wonderful, amazing week. Peace, love, and positive energy in your journeys, travels, and interactions. I hope your week is everything you want it to be or better. It's definitely going to be what you make it. Perspective is everything. Perspective is everything because how you perceive things is truth to you, no matter what anyone else thinks. So be mindful of your perspective always. And the fact that other people have their own perspective too. I love you so much. Have a fabulous rest of your week. I will see you next Monday right here. I'm going to be live again, chilling, talking shit, and, you know, enjoying the world. and we can talk about some things in the world. If you have a topic you'd like to chat about, feel free to let me know. Put it in the comments or send me an email. If you have a question you want me to answer or find some information on if I don't have it, and talk with everyone else about, maybe you think they might be interested, you can be anonymous as well. Feel free to drop me a line in my inbox or my email, or you couldn't be anonymous if you put it in the chat, but if you want to put it in the chat, you can do that as well. I would love to, have interactive conversations with y'all, because this is community. We're building community here, and I think it's important that everyone's involved. I love y'all so much. If you have any questions or you want to talk about your business, I'd love to talk about your business and support you and promote you. So, I do also offer like ad packages. If you want, I can make you a little short commercial. Um, but yeah, if you would like to come on the show and talk about your business or organization, I'd love to have you on. If you have a movement you want to talk about, reach out, let's chat and see what you have going on. If you're an independent artist and you make music, I would love to have you send me your music so I can check it out, possibly play it on the show. Also, any artist, like if you're an artist who paints, like you can come on the show and talk about your painting and tell people how they can get a hold of your art. Like I support that shit very much. So get at me. Holla at your girl. Holla at your girl. Holla at your girl. And if you love what I'm doing here and you fuck with me and you see me right now, there is a way that you can support below. Please feel free to hit your girl's Cash App or Venmo. Those are available if you're able to, you know what I'm saying? And if you're enjoying what you see, if you're enjoying the content, if you're learning anything, support however you can, even if you just share my shit. I for sure love you. So even you just being here, I love that shit. So to be honest with you, I just love y'all. So I love you guys regardless. I am going to attempt to play a song. Sometimes it works, and we're gonna say all the time it works, like starting right now. So this is OT Swayze, y'all. If it plays, all she needs. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your night. And I said that a million times already, but I'll see you back here next Monday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace. It acts like it's gonna do it, y'all. It gets to spinning and shit. Play the song for us, please. What is the problem? Seriously, honestly, truly. It doesn't look like it's gonna play the song, y'all. OT Swayze, my bad, bro. If I remember, I will play one of your songs to start the show next week. If I remember, please don't hold me to it because I'll be forgetting shit, y'all, without trying to.